Hello students, in today's video we will be seeing about the teachings and spread of Jainism. In the last video we saw about the origin of the religion of Jainism, and we also saw about the life of Mahavira, where Mahavira was born, his parents, his early life. All these details we saw in the last video. Now in today's video, let us concentrate on the teachings of Mahavira. Mahavira preached 5 vows called as Panchashila and 3 jewels called as Triratnas for the attainment of salvation. So for attainment of salvation or moksha, Mahavira preached 5 vows. 5 vows are called as Panchashila. So let us see which are those 5 great vows. First one, Satya, that is truth. Second one, Ahimsa, non-violence. Third, Asteya, non-stealing. Fourth, Aparigraha, non-possession of property more than required. That is, not to keep property which is more than required. And the fifth one was Brahmacharya or chastity. So these were the 5 great vows of Jainism, or 5 great vows taught by Mahavira. So as we have already studied, Jainism was a religion which preached simple principles, because people were frustrated because of the complications of Vedic religion. That is why they chose to get converted into Jainism. They got attracted to Jainism. People got attracted to Jainism because of its simple principles. So you can see here the 5 great vows preached by Mahavira are very simple. That is Satya, truth; Ahimsa, non-violence; Asteya, non-stealing; Aparigraha, non-possession of property more than required; and Brahmacharya, chastity. He also said about 3 jewels or 3 ratnas for the attainment of salvation. What were those 3 jewels? That also was very simple: right knowledge, right faith, and right conduct. You have right knowledge, you have right faith or right belief, and you do right things, you have right conduct, that will lead to the attainment of salvation or moksha. So Mahavira preached 5 vows called as Panchashila and 3 jewels for the attainment of salvation. The 5 vows were Satya, Ahimsa, Asteya, Aparigraha, and Brahmacharya. And the 3 jewels or 3 ratnas were right knowledge, right faith, and right conduct. Mahavira did not believe in the existence of God, but he believed in the existence of soul. That is, he believed in the existence of soul or Atma, but he did not believe in the existence of God. He condemned caste system and sacrificial rituals. He was against caste system and sacrificial rituals, and he gave importance to non-violence. He believed that animals, plants, stones, etc. also have life, and we should not hurt all these things because they have life. Mahavira had 11 disciples known as Ganadharas. So Mahavira did not believe in the existence of God, but he believed in the existence of soul or Atma. He condemned, or he was against, caste system and sacrificial rituals. He gave importance to non-violence. He believed that even animals, plants, stones, etc. have life, and so we should not hurt them. He had 11 disciples. They were known as Ganadharas. So these were the teachings of Mahavira. You can see it is very simple. There is no complications in this. There are no rituals. There is no sacrifices. There is no animal sacrifice. There is no costly affair going on. It is just very simple principles which people have to follow if they want to follow Jainism. So this is what attracted people towards the religion. So that was the teachings of Mahavira. Now let us see about the spread of Jainism. In the beginning, Jainism was confined to kingdoms of Kosala, Magadha, Videha, and Anga. So during the early days, Jainism was confined just to some kingdoms of Kosala, Magadha, Videha, and Anga. Many kings started patronizing Jainism. That is, many kings started giving their support to Jainism. When kings patronize the religion will start spreading to more and more places. So the some of the kings who patronized Jainism were Ajatashatru, Bimbisara and Chandragupta Maurya. All these were the kings who patronized Jainism. In these kings, King Chandragupta Maurya along with Bhadrabahu migrated to Shravanabelagola because of a famine which happened in North India. So in North India a famine happened, and because of this King Chandragupta along with Bhadrabahu migrated to Shravanabelagola. In Shravanabelagola he settled at Chandragiri hills, and later he died by observing Sallekana. Now what is Sallekana? Sallekana is voluntarily fasting to death. That is, he is voluntarily fasting. He give up eating food, and like that he voluntarily fast and finally he die. That is called as Sallekana. So that is a kind of self-torturing. You voluntarily fast until you die. That was what Chandragupta Maurya did. And Jainism spread to other parts of India like Karnataka, Gujarat and Rajasthan. So if we see about the spread of Jainism, in the beginning Jainism was confined to kingdoms like Kosala, Magadha, Videha and Anga. Later, because of the patronage of kings, Jainism spread to other places. Some of the kings who patronized were King Ajatashatru, Bimbisara and Chandragupta Maurya. Chandragupta Maurya, during his last years, a famine broke out in North India, and because of this, Chandragupta along with Bhadrabahu migrated to Shravanabelagola. There he settled at Chandragiri hills, and later he died by observing Sallekana. Sallekana is voluntarily fasting until death. Jainism later spread to other parts of India like Karnataka, Gujarat and Rajasthan. Now let us see about the important Jain councils. Jain councils basically are like meetings held to discuss some topics. Two main Jain councils were organized. There were two important Jain councils. The first council was held at Patliputra in 300 BC. This council, that is the first council which was held at Patliputra, was held to collect and revive the knowledge of sacred Jaina text. Whatever knowledge was available, they had to collect and revive the knowledge. That was done in the first council at Patliputra. The second council was held at Vallabhi in Gujarat. It was held in about 512th century era. And in this second council, the sacred texts were collected and they were written systematically. All the sacred Jain texts were collected and they were written systematically, that is, in an order it was written. So like this, two main Jain councils were organized. The first one was organized at Patliputra in about 300 BC. This was held to collect and revive the knowledge of sacred Jaina texts. The second council was held at Vallabhi in Gujarat in about 512th century era. In this council, the sacred texts were collected and written systematically. Now let us see what are the sects of Jainism, that is, what are the divisions in Jainism. The religion was split into two sects based on difference of opinion. So naturally, how will a religion get divided? It will get divided because of difference of opinion among the people. In Jain religion also, during the later stages, difference of opinion came and the religion was divided into two. So the religion was split into two because of the difference of opinion. The first one was the Shvetambaras. They were the followers of Parshvanatha. We have already studied that Parshvanatha was the 23rd Tirthankara. So the Shvetambaras were the followers of Parshvanatha and they wore white clothes. The Shvetambaras were wearing white clothes. The second group was the Digambaras. They were the followers of Mahavira and they did not wear any clothes. They were naked. So the second group was Digambara. They were followers of Mahavira and they did not wear any clothes. So Jainism was split into two sects based on the difference of opinion. The first group was called as the Shvetambaras. They were the followers of Parshvanatha and they wore white clothes. The second group was the Digambaras. They were followers of Mahavira and they did not wear any clothes. Now let us see about Jain literature. Agama Siddhanta is the holy text of Jains. The holy book of Jains is called as Agama Siddhanta. It contains 45 to 50 volumes. The Purvas containing original doctrines of Mahavira are incorporated in 14 texts. So the Purvas which contain the original doctrines of Mahavira, they have been collected and formed into 14 texts. And Shvetambaras and Digambaras agree in calling these 12 Angas as the first and foremost religious work. Even though Shvetambaras follow Parshvanatha and Digambaras follow Mahavira, they both agree in calling the 12 Angas as the first and foremost religious works. So Agama Siddhanta is a holy text. It contains about 45 to 50 volumes, and the Purvas containing original doctrines of Mahavira are incorporated in 14 texts. And both Shvetambaras and Digambaras, they agree in calling the 12 Angas as the first and foremost religious work. Jaina scholars also wrote secular work, that is other than religious work, they also wrote secular work. Kannada literature was also enriched by them. Now let us see the contribution of Jainism to art and architecture. The Jains built caves for residence of their monks. For their monks to stay, they started building caves. Some of their important contributions in the field of architecture, you can tell the Tiger Caves at Udayagiri, Indrasabha Cave at Ellora, Hathikumbha Cave in Orissa. So all these caves basically were built for the residence of their monks. For their sannyasis to stay, caves were built. And some examples which are contributions to architecture, you can tell as Tiger Cave at Udayagiri, Indrasabha Cave at Ellora, and Hathikumbha Cave in Orissa. Another example in the field of architecture you all may be knowing, Gomateshwara statue at Shravana-Belagola is an important Jain monument in Karnataka. One more example of architectural contribution is the 1000-pillared Basadi at Mudabidre, that also is in Karnataka. So Gomateshwara statue at Shravana-Belagola and the 1000-pillared Basadi at Mudabidre are two examples of Jain monuments in Karnataka. So contributions of Jainism in art and architecture, they have built many caves for the residence of their monks. Some of the important contributions are the Tiger Caves at Udayagiri, Indrasabha at Ellora, and Hathikumbha Cave at Orissa. The Gomateshwara statue at Shravana-Belagola and the 1000-pillared Basadi at Mudabidre are important examples of Jain monuments in Karnataka. Now in the last two videos, we have seen about the causes for the rise of new religion. Then we saw about the origin of Jainism, Vardhamana Mahavira, his teachings, the spread of Jainism, two main Jain councils, the divisions or the sects in Jainism, Jain literature, and contribution in art and architecture. This topic is a very important topic in your second year syllabus, so you have to go through each and every points very carefully. Now let us go and see some important questions from last two videos. Some questions are included about the last video and some questions are about this video. So you will have to refer both the videos for understanding about these questions. So let us go into the important questions. Question number 1. Who was the founder of Jainism? Answer: Rishabhanatha. Second question. Who was the 23rd Tirthankara? Parshvanatha. Where was Vardhamana Mahavira born? Answer: Kundagrama near Vaishali in 599 BC. Where did Vardhamana attain enlightenment? Jrimpiga Grama in Bihar. Question number 5. Where did Mahavira attain Nirvana? Answer: Pava near Rajagriha at the age of 72 in 527 BC. Mahavira attained Nirvana at Pava near Rajagriha. Question number 6. Who were the parents of Vardhamana? King Siddhartha and Queen Trishala Devi. The parents of Vardhamana are King Siddhartha and Queen Trishala Devi. Question number 7. Mention any two among the three Ratnas of Vardhamana. Right knowledge, right faith, right conduct. Any two you can write. The three Ratnas of Vardhamana are right knowledge, right faith and right conduct. Where was the Jain councils held? Answer. The first Jain council was held at Patliputra and the second Jain council was held at Vallabhi. Question number 9. Which are the sects of Jainism? Answer. Shvetambara and Digambaras. The two sects of Jainism are Shvetambaras and Digambaras. Question number 10. This is a 5-mark question. What were the factors responsible for the rise of new religion? See, the answer to this is explained in the last video. The causes for the rise of new religion, you will have to write points, point-wise. Complication in Vedic religion, supremacy of priestly class, animal sacrifice, chanting of mantras, caste system and birth of great personalities. All these points you will have to explain, and that will become a perfect answer for the question factors responsible for the rise of new religion. You can refer to the last video for this answer. Again, another long answer question is discuss the life and teaching of Mahavira. For this answer, you will have to combine last video and today's video, because the life of Mahavira is explained in last video about his birth, about his parents, about him converting into a sannyasi. So those points you have to add from last video, and his teachings, that is about the 5 great vows and 3 jewels, you have to add from this video. So those two combined together becomes an answer for the question life and teaching of Mahavira. First paragraph you will have to write about the life of Mahavira, and in the next paragraph you will have to write about the teachings of Mahavira. So I hope you have understood all the points explained in today's video. As I have already said, this topic Jainism and Buddhism both are very important topic for your second year syllabus. So please go through all the points again and again. If you have any doubts, please feel free to ask in the comment section. And if you like the video and if you feel that it is helpful, please do subscribe to my channel and also share it with your friends and ask them to subscribe. I hope to see you soon in the next video. Thank you for watching.